Whether you live in town, in the country, or in the suburbs, when it rains or snows, all the water that runs off the ground needs somewhere to go. This is why we have a stormwater management system. But why exactly do we manage stormwater? And what's the worst that could happen if we didn't? One of the first major reasons we have a stormwater management system in place is to reduce and control the pollution of our vital waterways. Stormwater runoff picks up anything that is on the ground and carries it along with it.
So imagine that water falling out of the sky onto the street or onto the parking lot at your favorite department store. And if there are oils and greases or trash and litter, all that's going to get picked up in the water and taken back into that river or stream or lake, and that's pollution. And we certainly don't want to pollute our rivers and streams and lakes. Norman is different, not that we're the only city that drinks, as we say, we drink our stormwater here in Norman. We're not the only city in the country that does that either through a lake or through a river, but we do that here. And so about 70% of our water supply, the water that we drink at our homes and our businesses, comes from Lake Thunderbird. And Lake Thunderbird has been proven or determined to be polluted or impaired is the term that federal and state regulators use. Now, I want to clarify that we have a water treatment facility. The city manages that part of our system as well. And I get that question a lot from folks. Well, can't you just put it through the treatment plant and clean up all that pollution? And absolutely, we do that today. The water we drink is very safe, even though it's coming from this polluted lake. The concern is that if we don't do something now, that pollution over time in Lake Thunderbird could get so severe that we would not have the ability to clean it or to treat it at our treatment plant. That's really the reason we want to stop the rate of pollution or the rate of contamination now, so we don't have to face that in the future.
The effects of pollution on our water supply are certainly serious, but stormwater runoff can also have a much more immediate and physically damaging effect: flooding.
When it rains really heavily, and it does in this region, we get very heavy or high intensity, low duration storms, or meaning 3 inches or 4 inches might fall in 30 minutes. And basically the system can't handle that. And if we don't have a system that's large enough or adequate enough to keep that water away from properties, then we're going to have flooding of homes, businesses, schools.
Flooding is also a significant public safety risk, as it can wash out roads and strand motorists. Norman resident Bill Scanlon has felt firsthand just how devastating stormwater can be when it gets out of control.
We moved here in 2003, intent on this being our retirement home, enjoying the proximity to the kids and grandkids. And we did really fine until waking up the morning of May the 6th, 2007, and being ankle deep in water. That episode we hoped would be the last. It wasn't. We've flooded in this house 2 more times, in 2015 and 2016. The 2015 episode happened in the evening and resulted in $101,000 worth of damage to this house. My house sits at the end of a cul-de-sac, and our house, I believe, was damaged more severely than others in the neighborhood. But there were several other houses in our immediate area, adjacent to me and behind me, that all experienced some level of flooding. It's scary to look out, and you've seen some of the videos I sent you, but imagine a torrent of water running through your yard to the extent that if a little kid steps out on the back porch and happens to take 1 step too far, they fall into this torrent. They're gone. The rush of water is that fast. It is really, really dangerous. When rain is predicted overnight, I'm up watching it. I'm watching the weather radar. I'm looking out my front door, and I'm just praying that water doesn't visit our house again as it has in the past. It is really a gut-wrenching experience. And again, I mentioned feeling helpless back when we first experienced the flooding. It repeats itself. You see water creeping up to your doorstep, and you know that there's nothing you can do.
If not properly managed, stormwater can have far-reaching consequences. It affects our property, our environment, our economy, and our safety. Stormwater truly affects everyone.